felony gun charges he faced, concluding that he violated laws meant to prevent drug addicts from owning firearms. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. According to CNN, Hunter Biden has been convicted on all three charges at his federal gun trial. The conviction marks the first time a president's immediate family member has been found guilty of a crime during their father's term in office, though his crimes predate Joe Biden's tenure as president. The jury, which deliberated for just under 3 hours, returned guilty verdicts on all three charges, which stemmed from a revolver Hunter Biden bought in October 2018 at a Delaware gun shop. The first two counts were for lying about his drugs use on a federal background check form, and the third count was for possessing a gun while addicted to or using illegal drugs. Hunter Biden could face up to 25 years in prison and a fine of up to $750,000 at sentencing, though he likely will receive far less than the maximum as a first-time offender. Before dismissing the parties, the judge told them sentencing is usually set for 120 days following a verdict, which means it is likely to happen before Election Day. Special counsel David Weiss told reporters that the conviction was about the, quote, illegal choices the defendant made while in the throes of addiction, close quote, as he stressed that no one in this country is above the law, and I add that includes Donald Trump. In a statement, Hunter Biden said he was disappointed by the outcome, but heartened by support from his family. I am more grateful today for the love and support I experienced this week from Melissa, my family, my friends, and my community than I am disappointed by the outcome, Hunter Biden said. Recovery is possible by the grace of God, and I am blessed to experience that gift one day at a time, quote, close quote. In a statement, President Biden said he will accept the outcome of this case and pledge to support for his son. As I said last week, I am the president, but I'm also a dad. The president said, Jill and I love our son, and we are so proud of the man he is today. So many families who have had loved ones battle addiction understand the feeling of pride seeing someone you love come out on the other side and be so strong and resilient in recovery. As I also said last week, I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process. As Hunter considers an appeal, Jill and I will always be there for Hunter and the rest of our family. With our love and support, nothing will ever change that, quote unquote. The outcome ends a painful chapter for the Biden family, including many members who were directly involved in the courtroom drama. Hunter Biden was in the defendant's seat. Many members of the family, including First Lady Jill Biden, were often in the courtroom showing support, and a few were called to testify. The first family arrived at the courthouse shortly after the verdict was read. She stared immediately ahead and did not move her gaze away. After court ended, Hunter Biden turned to his legal team and flashed a brief smile, perhaps stunned by the outcome, before hugging all of his attorneys and patting them on the back. Now, this is a totally different contrast from when Donald Trump was convicted on all 34 felonious counts. He was outside raising hell and cussing everybody out because he said the judicial system was rigged against him. Now, Hunter Biden is showing restraint, respect, and decency. Later on this evening in political football, I will talk about the differences between the two individuals. Both have been convicted, and the Republicans are upset, saying this hasn't gone far enough. Notice the differentiation here. They want to absolve Trump of any and everything just because they want him to be president. And they don't want him held accountable for the insurrection that occurred, for the melee, for the violence that occurred, or anything else. They don't want to hold him accountable for the classified documents that he had in his possession on his property. But at the same time, they want to see Hunter Biden go down for 25 years or more. This is called hypocrisy on the highest order. And this is one of the main reasons why you're going to be surprised what happens in November. Now back to the article. As he exited, Hunter Biden gave kisses and hugs to family members and friends in the courtroom, almost like a receiving line. His friend and financial backer Kevin Morris walked out with his arms crossed. Some of the supporters looked stunned. Valerie Biden, President Biden's sister, entered the courtroom a few minutes after the verdict was read. Leaving the courtroom after the verdict, Hunter Biden shuffled his family members into an elevator. As he held hands with his wife, he smiled briefly and left. The trial has unfolded against the backdrop of President Biden's re-election campaign against former Trump President Donald Trump, who himself was convicted of a felony last month in his New York hush money trial. Reacting to Hunter Biden's conviction on Tuesday, the Trump campaign initially wished him well in his recovery and legal affairs. Before striking that sentiment in a later version of a statement, it also called the proceedings a distraction from the real crimes of the Biden crime family, falsely claiming that the president raked in tens of millions of dollars in overseas dealings. This is why I call it political mind games. All of this is about winning at any cost. This man couldn't even speak with a shred of decency at a time like this. And you know what? I know a lot of people don't like to hear me with my opinions about Trump. They are what they are. It's called reality check. Because the racist and bigoted network on the other side will only talk about any and everything and make up the lies as they go along to try to support him becoming president again. The president already said that he is not going to pardon his son, and that should be the end of it. Now, this is what Trump said. He's falsely claiming that the president raked in tens of millions of dollars in overseas dealings. Though there is no evidence Joe Biden has received large sums of money from China or has otherwise gained wealth as a result of his son's business dealings abroad. Hunter Biden's conviction comes after a long-running Justice Department investigation that began in 2018, and it raised the stakes for his second scheduled trial, slated to begin in September on federal tax offenses. And you can believe they'll find him guilty there as well. Both cases have been overseen by Weiss, who was previously the Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney in Delaware. The guilty verdicts in the gun case are a major vindication for Weiss's team of prosecutors who have vehemently denied allegations from Hunter Biden's lawyers that the cases are so politically motivated. Yes, they are. Weiss can lie all he wants. It's politically motivated. Bottom line, a Trump-appointed prosecutor prosecuting the son of a Democratic sitting president, the fix is in. The historic trial almost never happened. Both sides went along before the judges last July with a negotiated agreement to resolve the gun case and have Hunter Biden plead guilty to two separate tax misdemeanors. But the judge, Maryellen Norica, refused to approve the deal after a whirlwind plea hearing in which the finger points of the arrangement crumbled under scrutiny. The week-long gun trial featured intensely personal and gut-wrenching testimony about Hunter Biden's well-known struggles with alcoholism and crack cocaine addiction. Let me just say this here. Every family, including mine, has somebody addicted to drugs, somebody struggling with alcohol, somebody who has a habit that seemingly they cannot break. That is no reason to verbally castrate them and to try to make them feel less than what they really feel like when they're going through an addictive portion of their life. That's the time when individuals should be helping, supporting, and encouraging them to recover. So those who want to sit back and make fun of the Biden family, you know what's going to happen? Fundraising is going to be at an all-time high for the Democrats. That's the bottom line. Jesus is king. I agree. Fundraising is going to be at an all-time high for the Democrats. And also, Biden is going to win the re-election campaign in November. Love it or leave it. That's what's going to happen. Now, let's get back to this story. The week-long gun trial featured intensely personal and gut-wrenching testimony about Hunter Biden's well-known struggles with alcoholism and crack cocaine addiction. It shed a national spotlight on a period that Hunter Biden described in his book as a blur of complete and utter debauchery, during which he did nothing but drinking and drugging. Prosecutors leaned on the testimony of three of Hunter Biden's ex-partners, including their star witness, Hallie Biden, widow of his brother, Bo Biden, to tell the jury in excruciating detail how his dependency on crack cocaine led to the end of his marriage, strained his relationships with his kids, and put him in danger on several occasions. That's what addiction does. It affects the entire family in every one. So before condemning somebody, as the Republicans will do, because Joe Biden had a cocaine and alcohol addiction, remember, we all have family members that are going through the same exact things. Don't you know what happens when you show mercy? Mercy is given to you. When you don't show mercy, mercy is not given to you. Hunter Biden's defense team argued unsuccessfully that he didn't view himself as a user or addict when he bought and possessed the gun. Defense attorney Abe Lowell had implored the jury to acquit Hunter Biden on those grounds. Coming up on Political Mind Games, I'll talk about the differences of these two separate trials. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.